back in the day, there was back in the day before I was ever on Twitch, it was just negativity. I was born in the darkness. Okay, I was molded in the darkness. Where it was just an overwhelming sea of anger towards any expression of politics that wasn't like inherently reactionary online. I'm talking like old like 2014, 2015, 2016 internet was just dog shit if you were a leftist, okay? Straight up. Straight up. Like most of you guys are unfamiliar with this stuff because you were either on 4chan at the time or were too young to remember, which is fine. But nah, that's capital amount. What are you talking about? The internet was way worse in like 2014, 2015, 2016. What the fuck? Not even a question, dog. Pre-Bernie Sanders internet is so bad. Pre-Bernie Sanders momentum, you have no idea. Like everything was just SJW's own. Guys, literally every single content creator, beloved content creators that were considered apolitical at the time were iDubbbz, Ethan, like all of those guys were apolitical. They were all participating in the SJW own compilations. You have no idea how the internet was. This is the closest we've gotten to like that era of online commentary where like every apolitical content creator is like a fucking small business tyrant fascist, okay? We're talking Gamergate. Yeah, PewDiePie. That's how it is, always. We are 100% not as bad, but we are definitely in that pocket. I used to be a MAGA Zoomer back in 2016. I started watching in 2020, and now I'm left to center. Yeah, the internet, you mildly criticizing PewDiePie and even saying you didn't think he was a Nazi got so much hate from his base. Oh, yeah. 100%. There was nothing. We're talking like pre-BreadTube, okay? BreadTube didn't even fucking exist at this point. It was barely beginning. Like H-Bomber guys, Sean, ContraPoints. These are all inventions of like 2015, 2016 era internet. Like that's when a lot of content creators started popping up and gaining momentum, rather. The Needle Drop got his meme channel. Yeah, like so much has changed at that point. The Needle Drop got his meme channel shut down because the Fader calling it alt-right. I think Anthony Fantano was even kind of spicy too. You're forgetting a lot of the main players at the time because at the time many of you were either too young to remember or didn't care about it or were literally in that group, in that wheelhouse. But like the Sargon of Akkad's of the world, the JonTron, like JonTron was a literal fucking meme guy, and yet his politics were just insanely reactionary. Okay, iDubbbz is another great example as well. Like that was Fantano. Now is a leftist. Yes, I'm saying that like there was a lot of people at that time. There was a lot of people at that time that were like insanely reactionary. Okay, insanely reactionary. While simultaneously presenting themselves as like apolitical. Now, here's the thing. What has happened since then? A lot of those guys have changed their politics. Okay? A lot of those guys have changed their politics. Some have died out. some have completely died out, and there's nothing remaining of the sort, right? What's the Scottish guy that made his pug do the Hitler salute? Guys like that, I don't even know if they're still around. Some of those guys and their politics changed dramatically. I agree, but I don't think Mellon was anywhere near iDubbbz or John Sean. No. I'm simply stating Adam Something made a good video discussing growing up in the internet and how it made us all reactionary back in the day. No, it made not all of us reactionary. Some of us weren't, okay? Myself included. I'm saying that now the era has shifted back to that. The era has 100% shifted back to that. There isn't as much like momentum and mobilization on the annoying like radlib radfem side of that pipeline, okay? But there is certainly a lot of growing momentum around content creators that are doing like centrist content, but a big chunk of their coverage revolves around like yelling at leftists. It's weird. A big chunk of it is like almost inherently anti-communist, openly anti-socialist. I don't know. Exclusively shitting on leftists, kind of weird. Every now and then you sprinkle a little bit of debating right-wingers, but then you go back to your bread and butter and consistently talk about how the left is the real problem in a country where Donald Trump might win an election again. I'm just saying. Something to consider, something to think about. Did Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro pop off in the day? Yes, absolutely. Boss, I do miss the Dudu Bennett reacts. I mean, is there a Dudu Bennett type content creator on the Republican side? I feel like Republicans are kind of washed too in this process. I'm not even kidding. I think like where is there an area of momentum? I feel like maybe debate content pops off on TikTok in short bursts, and that's pretty much it. Beyond that, the political sphere is dry as hell. That's why all these fucking losers on the progressive side are constantly trying to fucking spark drama. There really isn't anything. It's just red pill guys. Like Nelk Boys, Aiden Ross, Olive Kick. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's not politics, brother. That's just like a bunch of fucking morons. You know? And that's still drama. You're just describing drama. Crowder, great example, just deleted his entire fucking Twitter. What does Crowder have? He has nothing. He dropped the bag on a $50 million deal. He had a very public divorce. He's got nothing going on. Ben Shapiro, I rarely hear about. Right? I rarely hear about Ben Shapiro. I rarely hear about even Matt Walsh. Where are the conservative commentators? Where are they popping off? Who are the new names? Who is the new like Caitlin Bennett style conservative commentator? Okay. I mean, sure, a lot of groiped up Nazis are popping off on Twitter, but that's it. And Twitter is just like a desolate shithole. There is not really a lot of momentum on the Republican side, unless I'm missing it. And I might totally be missing it because I am still gathering all my information from this guy's the new face of debates.
LGBTQ rights or economic stability.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this guy's an apolitical content creator, right? Like he's just doing memes on TikTok. That's what he does.
Both? You need to pick one.
Like not this guy, not the atheist legend. Have you seen Michael Malice? Not really. How many of these losers you made a video on are even relevant now?
The kind of guy with some of the telling people not to arch their backs and
upsetting.
Well, I oblivious.
Upsetting.
Yeah. Like, do these guys still make content? I mean, they do, but does the content have any sort of prescient, any sort of like momentum? not like the peak. The intellectual dark
Ammunition-
web is a great example of like anti-globalist pat socks are kind of popping off right now. Pfft, no, they're not, dude. Tucker Carlson interviewed Cat Turd, dude. It's so Jover. Jordan Peterson has fallen off. And I also, as a consequence of that, have fallen off as well, for the record. Tommy Lauren is completely done. But I genuinely don't know. Who would you say are the biggest right-wing content creators? I don't know. I mean, I guess like the Ben Shapiros of the world still are. But I mean, even look at their numbers. Like, they don't do that well. Ben Shapiro has 6 million. Ben Shapiro has 6 million subscribers. He has 6 million subscribers, and his videos are like barely hitting 200K. That's insane. Okay? That is insane. This video has 27K views, bro. The second black president. Ben Shapiro destroys 2024 Golden Globes. Like, every now and then he bangs on cultural commentary from a conservative perspective. But look at how awful these numbers are. He's interviewing the likes of The Critical Drinker. Do you think that this is good? People don't even talk about Joe Rogan as much anymore.
All right, so a few months ago, while in the throes
Hasan, hey Hasan, who do you think your biggest influence for doing this is? I promise this is relevant. Wait, what do you mean? Like Matt Walsh, sitting at 2.8 million subscribers, 66K views, 51K views, 110K, 61K views. This is the most dink couple I've ever seen. 235K views. Every now and then he hits big. Why Joe Coy will never be Ricky Gervais. Like, a little bit of cultural commentary, but these guys used to hit millions, dude. Center-left content is popping off, I think. It's where I'm hearing a lot of conservative rhetoric. I think that center-left content is not necessarily popping off, but drama content from a center-left perspective that just exclusively makes itself busy with like whatever the fuck is going on with Republicans. Whatever the fuck is going on with socialism, no matter how small, that's what's popping off. But center left is not popping off overall. This is really, really, really interesting. It's really interesting to see. Views are down everywhere. I think a lot of people have just sucked into TikTok. I guess the one person that's like doing relatively well in the conservative sphere, people are saying, is Brett Cooper, which is shocking because she was like an unknown entity with a tremendous amount of backing from the Republicans at Daily Wire. And she's actually doing decently well. Our culture despises self-respecting women. It's all cultural stuff. Weight loss. Is it willpower or Ozempic? TikToker caught digging tunnels under her house. This is all like cultural, lifestyle, TikTok coverage, all of that from a right-wing slant. Okay? And it is doing fairly well. A day in my life living in Budapest. Gen Z is prepping for the year of chaos. And that's it. It seems like she is the only person I'm seeing on the conservative side that's like actually doing decently well. Right? And it's like a conservative version of what I've done. She literally ripped your React cover style and just pumped shorts. Yeah, no, I know. But it works. Yeah, it's the girl with the fake set. Exactly. Reactionary content is more specific, e.g. Manosphere, and there's way more creators now than back in the day. Single successful stories aren't needed because their ideas are more mainstream. Yeah, I think that a lot of right-wing commentary is like relegated to the supposedly middle of the ground centrist content creators. Right? There's a lot of like centrist content creators that do like center-right commentary, specifically attacking like socialists or leftists or whatever. It's like a lighter version of like, I'm actually kind of liberal myself, or I'm like an apolitical guy, but I really fucking hate these left-wing guys. You know, they're really, really weird, huh? Like, there's a lot of stuff like that out there that kind of bang, but it's usually not done on the boundaries of politics, but instead done on like, this guy kind of sucks, doesn't he? Like, look at his vibes. His vibes are really off. I'll give you a great example. Many people in this sphere, in this orbit, did not actually look at the conversations that me and Ethan had. Okay? They didn't even look at like the information that I brought forward. They didn't look at the information that he brought forward in any of our many conversations about Israel Palestine, and simply moved on directly to Hasan is mistreating Ethan. That's not political commentary. That was just petty drama. But that shit banged. People literally were like, Hasan made Ethan cry. Hasan is a bad person. He's a bad friend to Ethan. Look at Hasan. Look at how bad he is. That's not political commentary. You're just simply stating like that, you know, you're just presenting me as like a bad person in this situation. And it's and complaining about my mods and whatever. So like that is a cowardly substitute to like real legitimate political commentary, but it's also a very successful way of attacking political commentary because you don't have to talk about politics at all at that point. And yeah, of course it was very bad faith, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is whether it works or not, okay? If you can bully Steven Crowder offline by talking about his relationship, then that's a big W against the conservative movement because now you've been able to take down a conservative commentator. The same goes for someone like myself. If you can maybe not take away my audience or anything, but if you can just turn around and say he's a bad person, look, this is why. Here's a clip that's like clipped out of context, right? And you can show that, present that against like a very popular, beloved figure online like Ethan, then it's perfect. It's like, yeah, he's a bad guy. He's a bad friend. Look, he was a bad friend to XQC. And by the way, I never made Ethan cry or anything. That's what everyone was fucking saying, but that wasn't true. I was, that was ridiculous. But that's how it was presented. Yes, Ethan and I are still cool, of course. My point is, all of that stuff works. Okay? All of that stuff works to chip away. All of that stuff works to chip away. And it's most successfully done by supposedly apolitical people, right? It's supposedly apolitical people that are doing this. So then like they have no dog in the fight. They're just objectively looking at the situation. But of course they have a political framework. They just are smart enough not to show it. Right? That's it. And then a lot of people basically jump on it on the supposedly leftist content creator pipeline so they can eat away at some of the people that are falling off from that. You shake the couch and people pick up whatever drops out of it. What's up, young Fika? This is how it works. Let's be honest, some people's politics here are actually just hating you. That's also true, which is ironic because it's not politics. That's not politics. You can have disagreements with me, okay? And that's fine. And we can have disagreements on the political front, right? You can have disagreements with me on the political front, but many people don't do that. That's why most of the commentary that revolves around me about like all of the things that I've done that are wrong are like, I bought a house, I bought a car, I don't practice what I preach, right? It's all bullshit. But it's very successful in undermining whatever kind of message I'm trying to spread, because the message I'm trying to spread has to have charitability. The true problem with the right and liberal America is that no one believes in anything. They just want to argue over problems that don't exist. And of course, material problems in the background go unsolved, despite them being massively popular in terms of what matters. culture war distraction shit. It's funny too because conspiracy people love to call shit a distraction and then engage in these discourses. Oh yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I do think that it's happening at a time when like there's not a lot of interest in politics at all, regardless. And that's it. I think you're big enough long enough for that for many people to well as poison too from stuff like that. Yeah, but it's okay. I think the main thing is that they're spiteful that you never broke her back to build their career, so they take it as a personal attack for hate. I don't know what that means. But yeah. Becoming a gigajillionaire by preaching a message is something that many people are wary from those crazy church people. Yeah, the difference, however, is that all of this shit is for free. That's the major difference. People voluntarily subscribe, but that's it. That's the major difference. I don't preach salvation. I don't tell you that if you give me money, you'll go to heaven. I don't preach the prosperity gospel. Is it bad to refer to oneself as left to center? I mean, I don't know. So yeah, there's no tithing happening. I don't promise anything either. Anyway, regardless, what was I saying? But yeah, it's just there's not a lot of interest in like hardcore political coverage. Partially because people are tapped out, people are bored, people don't want to so many people that target you are so irrelevant now because you focus on the objective. Everyone out here playing TDM while Hasan plays diffuser. I don't know what that reference means, but yeah, I mean, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, but we're also hitting major boomerification of Gen Z. Like, ironically, a lot of Gen Z is putting themselves first under the guise of self-care and putting yourself first before others, like a form of entitlement, not a degree, but survival. Yeah. Do you think politics and commentators will become more popular closer to the election? Potentially. The new culture war is on TikTok, man. I'm telling you. Unfortunately, I'm incredibly, incredibly tapped out of TikTok. I am not in the know at all. And my only way of knowing what's going on in the world on TikTok specifically was by looking at Twitter. And now Twitter is broken. So my only lens into what pops off in that side of the world is now done. It's like riddled with shit. So I don't know what's good. I don't know what's actually doing great on TikTok. Like, I don't know what people care about TikTok. And that's why I do sometimes, and I will say this very earnestly, very honestly, I do sometimes feel like I'm oblivious to what is like going on in the world of conservative commentary. It does legitimately feel far away. I don't know. And all the guys that I do know, they're kind of washed. Would you agree that this sort of drama culture war stuff, even if it gets a lot of views, doesn't lead to much influence in the long run? Like covering politics like Majority Report, half the chat, me included, used to watch that in 2014 era and still turn progressive. Yeah, no, I mean, I think politics has devolved into TikTok drama because the reality is people feel too powerless to care about the systems and control our lives, both right and left. Yes. Even if there's a lot of stuff on TikTok that's like popping off, I just don't know. I feel like conservative commentary was kind of taken over by the manosphere, and I don't know where it's living now. Yeah, I think that is what happened. The alpha male sphere on TikTok is always popping off. Yeah, I think politics has fallen off, or rather, right-wing politics has also fallen off like left-wing politics has. And what it's actually turned into is like a lot of manosphere shit. And I was ahead of the curve on that. I dunked on Andrew Tate. And then I kind of checked out of that scene completely, not realizing that stuff still bangs, I guess, on TikTok, the podcast, like whatever and the like. So on the one hand, yes, you're right. I feel like the right wing has been taken over by the manosphere and the likes of manosphere content creators. And the left wing has been taken over by drama farmers. And I think that both is a signal that people, like the audiences, are not interested in politics in general. Right-wing podcasters are doing manosphere shit. It's like drama about how women ain't shit, okay? And left-wingers are doing drama about how other left-wingers are somehow betraying the cause or not real leftists or have their own personal stuff, and you have to write a manifesto and have nukes on others or whatever the fuck they do. I don't really follow it as much. I just see it on Twitter sometimes and I'm grossed out by it and I throw up in my mouth and then I move on. But like, it's still not politics. None of it is politics. And I do think that is because both sides are on the same fucking shitty situation where they just have nothing going on. And men dressed as women are gender partying with your kids at brunch. Men dressed as women are gender partying with your children. Yeah, a lot of them are doing 4chan shit, but from the left. And yes, have you ever covered Tyler Oliveira or other exploitative poverty tourism content? They're definitely doing politics, even if it's content. That's what I mean. Even if it's covert, that's what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, all the people that are like instilling legitimate political messages are doing it without either realizing it or deliberately doing it. Like the Nelk Boys is a great example of a non-political entity doing very real political commentary. Okay. Oh, and very aware of that. And then Tyler Oliveira and the like are doing maybe oblivious to the reality, but have like a right-wing attitude. And they are doing political commentary or baking political commentary into their coverage. Yeah, barstool conservatism is exactly what's going on. Someone literally told me to attack people has been the culture within the online left before you came in. Wait, what? I asked them, how is that good? Got no answer. They're not serious people. What? To attack people has been the culture within the online left before I came in? Yes. That's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. That's the point. I think people like Noah are a good access point to the politics of happening on TikTok. He seems to be really well tapped into the shit that's happening on TikTok. He had the core vids and the incel vids plus the pickup artist vids. He has finger on the pulse of trends. Oh, you mean Noah Sampson? I was like, what? Noah Colwyn? He knows fucking less than I do. I think the leftists are powerless and bored, and it's as simple as that. You're the figurehead of the online left, and they literally have nothing else going for them politically. I agree. I think so too. There's one socialist YouTuber that I listen to that does audiobooks, made a whole vid rant on you. That's what I mean. It's like, it's everyone trying to eat away at like a smaller and smaller market share without like, while dropping their eyes off the prize. That's what I mean. I'm sure every leftist content creator who I'm not like directly and immediately friends with has at a certain point been like, yeah, this guy sucks. Because I think they see that as a pathway. I'm sure they personally fucking hate me too. Like I'm sure they've seen so much negative stuff about me that like that guides their views a little bit, and then they just kind of get they get they definitely get a lot of benefits from it too. Like they get views and stuff. So then they just do it. The absolute worst shit is left purists who just want to stay in a small club and be insanely judgmental of anything. You usually only see them online because they would realize even hardcore union people can be bigoted, etc. They do not realize it's best to know how to read the room and engage people properly because they're morons, but it's so annoying to see. Oh, absolutely. You're in the TYT role this time, I know, which sucks. Any leftist content creators who don't hate you? Many of the major ones don't. Was that a joke? What do you mean? Market share? Was that a joke? Bruh, no. Like you're talking about market share? Yes, I think that people see it that way. I thought you were leftist. No, I don't think you understood what I was saying, but I don't know why you're so antagonistic. I think people see content as a situation where there's like a tiny market share that they want to capture. Every single ostensibly left content creator I used to follow who has shat on you have made the reactionary grifter turn, so take that however you will. Yeah, exactly. That's the other part. Ironically, you're being loved by a community of apolitical content creators than leftist one, and that's just sad. Yeah, like most of my friends and people that don't inherently despise me or overtly despise me for content are ironically apolitical content creators, you know, like the OTKs and the offline TVs of the world. But yeah. But that'll never stop. The leftist infighting and the purity spirals won't stop. We try not to do that here, though, of course. OTK is not apolitical. I mean, they are relatively. Anyway. I mean, the left has nothing going for it in mainstream avenues because of disillusionment with the establishment, and the establishment being the only vector for people to channel that. But we kind of have the UAW organizing and coalitions for unions for joint negotiation contracts 2028. UAW actively calling for a ceasefire. Have you covered that? Yes, I have, of course. Yes, I have covered that. I mean, other than the one instance, by the way, that I've yelled at, I've been pretty good on keeping my promise of not malding as much this year, I think. Anyway, I told you guys all this stuff because I am looking at it and I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on, right? And that's something that I'm still looking at, I guess. I haven't sworn as much either. I still do swear a lot, but not as much. One mauled in 15 days is pretty good. I don't know how much TikTok is still trend-setting platform, but it could be. No, TikTok I think is like where, I mean, the views had to have gone somewhere. I suspect it is TikTok, right? You said cunt mother like 50 times today. That doesn't count. What about moderation? Like you get to just unload on one chatter a month? Maybe. I think a huge part is just less entertainment consumption. True. Um, I think I just got to look at more TikTok and try to figure out what's popping off. And as my community, you guys are also tasked with finding me things that are happening in the world. So I'm telling you as well that in the upcoming months, beyond the primaries, which of course we will be covering, if you want to get caught up with the reactionary culture, go to a gold silver coin shop. I do want to see what the memes are. I feel like we are, as a community, we're getting older, and as a consequence of us getting older as a community, I think that we are losing sight of what is popping online. There used to be much younger people in here. Some of them became older, right? You guys, and others that were really young have left. So we got to figure out what is still popping off. Bro, I'm young as hell. You just old. It's true. I feel like there are less people like you getting mad about shit, which makes the viewers get mad less often, which makes them disengage. Swingers app for Disney adults. Oh my god, I saw this. Okay.